Hello, everyone. It's currently 12:30 a.m. in the morning. I guess it would be Tuesday now. Although for me, it still feels like it's Monday. I had the opportunity today to watch a movie 4 days early, or at least the first movie of a new trilogy. And don't worry, you don't have to wait 10 years for the trilogy to come out, or every other year you get to see the trilogy starting July 2nd on Netflix uh, this Friday, and then the next movie will be next Friday, and the next movie will be the Friday after that, and that'll conclude the Fear Street trilogy. So I guess I kind of just said what the movie was. I got an early screening of Fear Street 1994, aka Fear Street Part 1, if you just want to call it that way, because it more feels like a part, but if you're going to go by the years, it is Fear Street 1994. So I've been seeing ads about this for a while. I never read the Fear Street books. I read a lot of Goosebumps. That's how I know R.L. Stine. I know R.L. Stine wrote Fear Street novels. This is clearly an adaptation of them. But I never read those, especially because I read Goosebumps when I was a kid. I didn't know he had more adult novels anyway. But now that I do, I kind of want to go read them. Because this is the simplest way to describe the film, not even along with the plot of the movie, is Goosebumps for like 16-year-olds. Like, it's definitely like the fun age, like 16 and older are gonna have fun with this. So basically, without getting into spoilers, I don't want to spoil the trilogy since I'm seeing it early and getting reviews out earlier. I would like to just simply talk about the film and what I liked, what I didn't like, and then, not get into spoilers, but let you know what it's about. Fear Street, 1994, is about a bunch of... It's kind of a cliche story you might have heard before. A bunch of kids in 1994, there's murders happening. There's a murder at a mall in the beginning of the movie, and a bunch of other high schoolers hear about it, and it becomes like this discussion of like, ooh, it's a killer who's been living in this specific city, which is called Sunnyside, Shinyville? I already forgot. I'm gonna need to remember it. There's one that's called Sunnyside, and the other one is called Shinyville. I already forgot. I'll remember it eventually. Is it Shiny-side? Sunnyside? There's two different places. All this is happening in the shiny place with the witches. They refer to like their sports team and the football team and the high school team as witches. So I just assume I'll simply call it the witches one because I forgot the names already. There's murders happening here. People are suspecting it's a curse about this old witch all the way that dates back to 1666. And because there's a murder from a guy at the mall, and people start celebrating like, oh, it's the witch, and they have fun with it. They kind of make it like a tradition. But it's kind of a fucked up thing, so it's really funny to like see that constant 80s appeal. It does feel like an 80s film, despite it being taking place in the 90s, where you have like very douchebag jockey characters, then your stupid ones, and then like the slutty characters. You get your like separate boundaries. Except our main characters, none of them are that annoying or awful, so I'll get into them. But yeah, it's just that cliche like, ooh, we have to figure out where these murders are happening and why they're coming after us and why are there's all these killers showing up. And it's just this fun little slasher film that I don't want to get into spoilers for, so it's going to be hard to review, but I think simply when you're judging a slasher film and a horror film with a few comedy elements, you very simply have to just completely cut away the mind. A slasher film is good as long as it is fun, a little bit unique, and at least feels like it's moving consistently to something bigger eventually. It needs maybe bigger kills, cooler things happening, better setups. What if they do a sequel? Like the Friday the 13th films with all those in mind. Some of them are fun, but they kind of feel like they went downhill more than going up, for the most part. Like 6 is one of the best ones because it knows to be ridiculous and almost takes itself out of this context that is goofy, but it works. This movie kind of knows it's goofy. You can just tell from the tone and a lot of the humor that it's making fun of past movie cliches, the fact that it is falling under those. The thing is, and I think it's because it's a mystery trilogy, what they are setting up here is going to lead into the next one. The next one is 1978. And of course, like, you're like, that's the year, that year's earlier. So, like, are they going back in time telling the story? There's our main characters from this film, and they're like learning stories about an event that happened in 1978. It seems to be, and events that all go to the third film, 1666. So they're dating back and setting up this mystery of the witch's curse, these killers. How do we stop them? Can they be stopped? And it feels like those Goosebumps episodes back then, where you get like the 3 or 4 part ones where it's like a full on mystery. Except these are feature films. I was going into a few weeks ago. I thought these were going to be like 60 minutes, and they'll drop them weekly as like a fun event. These are full length films. Like if you could see these on a theater, or in the theater, it would be like longer than some of your average films. This was an hour and 45 minutes. From what I know, the next one's about the same time, and the final one's like an hour 52, hour 53. They're fairly lengthy films. So I was like surprised to see that, and I had a lot of fun watching it, honestly speaking. Its characters were likable enough. They have some cliche elements to each of them. The ones that you probably would more expect to live will probably live. The ones you more expect to die will probably die. I'm just letting that be known. It's a slasher film. You can probably assume who. I won't give it away in case you don't know. But our main characters are Dina, Samantha, I'm trying to remember them all. I believe Joshua, Simon, and Kate. So those are our 5 main characters. Dina is our main girl. She's sort of the one stuck in this situation. She's not with her girlfriend anymore, Samantha, who is the one that it tends to be that the witch's curse was put on her, and all these killers are after her, because that's who they're clamoring towards. They're all trying to get her. And stuck in that adventure is Dina's brother Joshua, I believe. And he's like the nerdy, younger 17, 18-year-old kid who like knows everything about the witch's curse, the village, the killers. He knows all that past. He's like the one with the knowledge. Because, he's the nerd who reads books. It's kind of like Ben in like It type character. And then you have your characters Simon, who is sort of the goofball one, and then you have Kate, who is the one that Joshua has a crush on, and she's sort of like the fearless one who wants to just directly get into the situation anytime she can. She is that kind of character. Sort of like Final Girl-esque. If you've seen the movie The Final Girls, that parodies it, she's kind of like that lead. Same feeling for Dina, which is kind of a great balance because they're like the best friends of the movie. So they're all stuck on this adventure trying to figure out how they can stop the killers and this curse and help Samantha. And it was a fun watch. It consistently moved at a good pace. The comedy was working a lot of times. There's this joke early on running with like why Simon has blood all over his shirt, and they keep trying to hide the fact like that he has blood on his shirt. I thought it was going to come back to play with like people seeing him with blood on his shirt being like, is he the killer? But that didn't. But it was a funny gag that kept going on where they kept mentioning like, why do you still have your fucking shirt on with a bunch of blood on it? Like, why? And then they find a way to get that into the plot, and I feel like that's a unique thing to do, is if you can make something small and then bring it back later. And they do that fairly well here. I'm curious to see where it entirely goes. They set up part 2 fairly well at the end by like having like, ooh, the twist to this one. Now it's like, ooh, now you want to see the next one. Like you do. It leaves you with enough to be like, I want to see it. Even though I can maybe predict some things and some things not, I'm interested to see it. Then right at the very end, they showed, after the film ended, the first part, which did feel like a full movie when you really look at it. It does feel like one that you could see and then a year later would get released, but they're dropping all 3 on Netflix week by week, and I feel like it's because they probably filmed them over a long time. Probably took a while to get all these made. But the next one, after they set it up, they show like a minute or like 45 seconds or so of what the next one is. Basically like a trailer at the end to like, coming soon, and getting you hyped up, and it shows like the 1978 camp murders, because that's what this one's about, is a camp. I will say, with the trailer ending set up without spoilers, they do show someone, like, almost basically, it seems like they show them get killed. Maybe I'm seeing it wrong. It could be a different character than I'm thinking, but if the character is who I'm thinking, then I would say that... what am I trying to put out? That the character who they show is a pretty... Out of everyone in that next film, based on the trailer I know, this person is the most known actor, actress that I would personally know who is in that one. And in the trailer, they basically show this person get killed. I won't say who, because I don't want spoilers of it. But I hope that they actually don't get killed and they just show that at the ending. I'm hoping that's something bigger, or maybe they don't get killed from what I saw. But it does look like that from the quick little shot of it. It's very quick, but if that's the case, why'd you give it away in the trailer? If not, then yeah, it's fun. It's stupid. There are some really awkward moments of humor where I was like, I don't feel like happy or fun with this. I just feel uncomfortable by it. Like, I kind of wish this wasn't a part. But when the kills happen, like, oh, they're really good. There are about 3 or 4 where I was like, oh fuck, they just really go for it. And I'm glad they don't hold back. They have fun with that R rating. You've got your sexual content in it, like your cliche sex scene type thing. But in here, it's like very calmed down. I can tell in the next one, because it's a camp film with horny older teens, it's like that one's going to be the crazier one. I don't know what the fuck 1666 is going to do, but I can't wait to go back to like the witch trial ages. I feel like that's where we're going. And that's like probably in concept my most anticipated thing. I also have a prediction that I won't say out loud, but I will think about it the entire time. And if I'm right in the third review when that one comes out, I will say if I got it right or not. And then hopefully when all 3 are out, I'll do a spoiler review of all 3 so I can talk about them more in depth. But for now, if you want to know my thoughts on it, it is a fun, enjoyable little film. I have a feeling it'll get like a 40-50% on Rotten Tomatoes. It'll be that mixed reviewed film where some people are like, oh, I want to know the setup. And it was a fun little watch, and some people are going to hate it. There are elements to dislike. But overall, fun watch. I would watch it again when all 3 are out. And I get to see the other 2 early. Not 4 days early. I think the next one I get to see a day early before it comes to Netflix. And the one after that I get to see 2 or 3 days early before it goes on Netflix. So yeah, got screeners for them. If you want to check out more reviews at the moment, that would probably feel more horror comedy-esque vibes. Check out my Meet the Blacks review I did with a buddy of mine, Jacob. And coming up the rest of this week, Werewolves Within review, Zola review, The Tomorrow War, No Sudden Move, Boss Baby 2, The Forever Purge, Summer of Soul. The America the Motion Picture on Netflix, that comes out in like 2 days. There is so much shit coming out this week, like through everything. Like, and they're not small movies, so it's kind of crazy. So, a lot of reviews coming soon, and can't wait for Fear Street 2. Also, Benjamin Flores Jr., who I haven't seen since The Haunted Hathaways. He plays the kid Joshua in the film. Again, I'm thinking his name is Joshua. I just watched it. I hope it is. It's not like Jacob or something, and I got it wrong. Yeah. He was great. I thought he was probably the best performance. Some people go a little too over the top with what they're given, or some scenes are awkward. His character I found to be the most likable, simple, kind of average character, and I think he did a really good job as him. He made me get a few chuckle-worthy moments, and he was the character I was like, I really hope he lives as the brother of Dina. So he did a good job. Overall rating, because I don't think I rated it, I would give this a 6.5 out of 10. It isn't perfect. It has a lot of dumb moments, as I mentioned. It's a little bit of a mess at times. But when the trilogy completely comes together, we'll really see where this fits in with my review. It could go up a little bit or go down a little bit, but it's not going to massively improve based on anything. It's a pretty decent, fun watch. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. I will come back and watch it when the whole trilogy's out. Can't wait for the rest. And yeah, that's it. Bye.
You can't stop it.